Hello again, Professor Ardone. Um, I have a few questions specifically to ask you this time because I think this is going to be our last interview, and I want to get into some more theoretical aspects of aging now that I've explored your history in detail.
Okay.
S- so, first, I want to ask, how long do you intend to continue working before fully retiring?
Um, my intention is hopefully I can teach. I'm 63. The September will be my 63 birthday. My hope is that I can make it out to 70,
Mm-hmm.
with and teaching and this. But if I can move and I can walk and I have the energy, I don't, I cannot see myself just not doing anything. I will find something to do. If it is not teaching Spanish, then I probably had to do something with the church, teaching more, getting more into Bible studies and stuff like that, and still continue doing some sort of teaching. But as a depending for salary and stuff like that, that's what if I have those years of living, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Mhm. Do you think wanting to work for so long is an aspect of wanting to be independent and support your family?
Yes, that is definitely that. I don't know. You say things when you are healthy, you can say things like, oh, I'm not afraid of this and blah blah blah, death or stuff like that or getting ill. But one thing that scares me is if I get old and I have to depend from people. That is one thing that I like. Oh no, I hope that I can save enough that when I am going to live in a assisted living facility, I have enough savings to cover that I don't have to be depending, you know, from any
Mhm.
aid or anything. That's what I pray for.
Would you also say that wanting to work for so long is also related to wanting to feel active and alive and like young
Yes,
for as long as
yeah,
possible?
exactly. That's what I was mentioning earlier a few minutes ago that I said I just don't see myself just not being active. I gotta be doing something. That's my dream. That's what I hope for. Still being active, still being uh, doing something, mentoring young people, uh,
Mm.
being a
Teaching in
good
the
citizen
church,
in the
something.
community, church, something I gotta be doing. Yeah, that's what I aiming for. That's what I'm hoping.
Would you say that in Honduran culture that aging is viewed as a decline? Like that getting older is a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, but it's something that I think well, I don't know. I only have been in Honduras and here, and most of the time I lived more years here in the U.S. than I had lived in Honduras. Um, I think you just by nature, we're afraid, of that. I don't think it's a bad thing. And also, I don't know, it has to do with personalities. There is a lot of people who age, and then they're old people and they're happy.
Mm.
They're happy. They're very outgoing. They're always, with a good attitude. I want to be that person, you know. But
Would you
I
say
think it depends on personality, but it's in general. Here, I've seen it too, that some people who are very relaxed, because I have a group at the church that we are all, in the 60s and 70s that we meet once a month. And and some of them, show good attitude, and some of them are a little bit kind of. And then we have one member that group is 85, and I like that guy. He's an mixed military guy with good attitude, and I mean it just varies. I think, and right here in our brains.
Would you say that for you personally, that aging has been an experience of decline, such as noticing lower physical, social, mental capabilities from when you were younger, or that you think your appearance has gotten worse as you aged, or anything like that?
Oh yeah, but that happens to everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Like I got more this sciatic nerve, that it hurts you at night that you cannot sleep well. I think that happens. But being active, I used to play indoor soccer, and I did it like for 17 years without stopping. Except for since I moved here to Texas, I had not been that much of physical activity. I think the more physical activity you do and you do it consistently, then your body is conditioned. I have seen that part. Now being more active physically, I can see more, that, oh, my back or something like that. But I think it's just part of the life cycle, I think. I can be wrong.
So do you
I
think
don't know. Did I
it's
answer your question? Is that what
yes,
you were asking?
you answered that one very well. So do you think trying to maintain your physical and health capabilities on your own is a virtue? Something that everybody should be doing?
We should be doing that. Right now I cannot preach on that part because I'm not doing it. So I'm not a good example. I keep saying I'm gonna start walking because not only for those many years when we were living in Plano, not only I was playing, I walked every day. I took my 45 minutes walk, listen to Christian music, just kind of relax. I don't know. It was fun. In here, in my neighborhood, it's a good place. We don't have vehicles running here, hardly any vehicles. And it's a good thing to do, go for a walk. And I keep blaming even myself, saying, "Oh, wow, why can I find the motivation to start doing my walks again?" Definitely doing that is something that, and we know it. I mean, we know. My doctor would say the same thing, that you need to start doing your walks.
So would you say that wanting to keep yourself physically fit is another aspect of wanting to be independent and stay young?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. Most people who do that they do it with that mentality. One member of our and a family member, that on my wife's side here, that lady walked every single day, and when she passed away, she was like 94 and straight like that. Very, very active, and it was amazing to see her doing what she was doing and living independently, but she was acting and active in church. She had something to do every single day until it was time. She was not ill. It was just that the age came at 94, and it was time for her to go. And, you know,
Mhm.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
do you intend to get any more education of any level besides the training courses your jobs make you take?
Um, I want to continue doing like this course that I'm taking online at UT Tyler is a very, very good one. And I'm looking for the next one that it has to do with helping me. One thing that definitely I want to do is, and I was listening to a teacher that teaches how to use technology in the classroom. And just a couple of days ago, this great professor, hold on, let me close the door right here real quick. I know it's just a great painting and they're working there. Um, this great professor that teaches technology, to incorporate technology in the classroom. And I had asked already people, I said, we got to do something more that the classes, to meet with the students' needs. You guys are more, the young generations are more technology inclined. So we had to incorporate that. And that's one thing that is getting me how to update myself. But here is this stigma, this taboo thing that, oh, I am this, oh, and I cannot learn these things. I want to break that thing. I want to become more that I can use there is a lot of good. This guy does great presentations. And then I said, oh my goodness, I want to be a more effective teacher in that. so the students can be. We are, for the most part, we are pretty engaged when we're there because you guys are so good. But I want more of this that everybody is. Definitely, I want to find a way how to incorporate and give myself just acquire a little bit more knowledge in the use of technology in the classroom.
And you mentioned before that if you retired from teaching, you would be interested in getting some kind of theology degree.
That's what I keep hoping. Couple of years, I think I am going to embark in that. That is something that there's two ways to do some kind of like get it some it's a religious degree, get a master's degree in theology, something like that, or at least some kind of training, that I know quite a bit because I do it every day. I have a bunch of stuff here in the office that I follow, and then some people that I follow online that they're doing some teaching, but I want to do it in a more serious scenario.
Mhm. And then, do you think wanting to continue educating yourself is also another manifestation of that wanting to be independent and feel young and all that stuff?
Certainly, certainly, yeah. I hear a lot of things, about one thing that people are scared. We are scared, when we get in this age, is the Alzheimer's thing, the dementia thing that you forget things, and it happened. There are manifestations, things that like, okay, I'm gonna do something, and I move from here to there, and then when I'm there, like, oh, what was I gonna do? But sometimes it's just distractions, Sometimes it's distractions.
Mhm.
But if I can keep this inside, this brain there, and usage, and learning more things, hopefully, uh, it feels good when you learn new things. It feels good. I just um, my wife and I were listening to a presentation uh, in history about the archaeology discoveries in Israel, and what was the other one? There were two lectures, and then because I had read it the different ways that I had watched it different than when they were doing this is the Science Channel, and more better details, and
Mhm.
I had a good background knowledge that I kind of could predict what they're going to say, what they're going to be talking about, because I like that. I want to continue learning about that, the
Mhm.
religion. And, I mean, you had done some anthropology, so you know what I'm talking about. It's pretty
And
neat
then,
to learn about.
yeah, it is. Uh, Third, based on your current health progressions and lifestyle, at what age do you think you would need a full-time caregiver or to move into an elderly care facility?
Uh, I would predict in the next, 20 years, when I'm 80, anything between 80 and 85. I still want to be the dude, who goes around and to the table and say, "Hey, hello everyone, how are you doing? Fabuloso." I want to do that part, where you can go around. I don't want to go there when I am not able to move. I want to do that. I can play cards, I can play the guitar, and I can do something in there. I don't want to move in when I am in a wheelchair. I want to do it when that I can bring that,
Energy there.
positive added energy. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
That's would be my guess. But you just think things in the future that may happen, but nothing has happened in the what I had thought in the future. When before, like when I was your age, thinking it either did not happen or happened 10 times better. Like I dream about this and I got a lot.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Since you've been so willing to support your own family over the years of your life with raising their kids and education and all those other things, would you be willing to accept help from them in any form once you reach that age? such as financial aid if you became too old or suddenly ill to work, living assistance in Honduras or in America, or even living with one of them so they could be a full-time caregiver for you, etc.?
Well, that's a good question. My youngest brother that I sent into school, we had this interesting conversation. Sometimes he said that he's gonna build. He doesn't have a house yet, and he said when he has his house built, and that I will be able to move in with him. That would be kind of cool if that happens. But it's just an idea. But yeah, definitely, would be pretty cool if we can do it. And you know, I would like to do that with him. We have had this silly conversation before, when he was finishing the degree and then we finished, and then I always joke with him and I said, remember when my dad was dad almost 81. So I said, when I am my dad's age, I'm gonna come and move in with you. He said, oh, absolutely. He said, so yeah, the answer is yes.
And then speaking more about the technology in the classroom, how do you feel about your ability to keep up with the rapid progress of technology?
It,
Especially considering if you were to continue or stop taking those technical education courses that you take.
it's very overwhelming because it's moving very fast. Just comparing when I started teaching it in 2014 is when I went to Collin College. And then the farthest we were using in technology is just to switch. By then we didn't even have access to what they called the OneDrive. I used to bring my little flash drive, get my files, insert it, and then sometimes we forget it. I don't know how many times I have forgot it, and the next teacher would take it and put it in the lost and found, office in college. And then when it came to no, now you can save your files in the OneDrive. You don't have to use this. And I was teaching other teachers, you can do that. Really? Yeah, you just access. So the technology moves very, very fast. It's pretty for older people like me. It gets a little bit it's overwhelming. You get a little bit scared, to be honest with you,
Mhm.
because I see
And
you guys.
so you think if you stop taking those technical education courses,
Yeah,
you would fall behind a little bit?
I will fall behind. I need to keep up. I need to keep up. That's what I'm trying. This summer, I'm gonna be busy doing some kind of on my own here. Taking serious and then start playing at the computer how to incorporate this.
Do you think if you retired from teaching and didn't take those technical courses anymore, that you would keep your current level of technical skills, or would they regress? I mean, you said obviously that they wouldn't progress at least as fast as they are now, but do you think they would stay at the same level or that you would forget things?
Uh, that's a good question, man. Because what happened? I'm gonna stay at what I know right there, but technology will keep moving. So if not regress, I will not forget what I learned, but I will not advance. So, if you don't take the next Spanish level, if you stay where you are, you would just know this Spanish. You will not be exposed to the new Spanish. You might not forget what you already have here, but you are not going to advance. And this is just going to be that it will not going to develop. So the same thing in technology. If I stop there, probably not regress to say, I will not forget what I know. But you see, the problem with technology is that it replaces, new things come up and then they're obsolete. You don't, like when we had the conversation with you, I think I mentioned to you about how we learned the computers, with the floppy disk and then with the disk and all of the things.
And the CDs
And
with the operating system on them
yes,
and
those things are gone. Those things are gone. It's replaced. So I don't know what's gonna happen with the speed. I mean, it gets a little bit scary when they said that in 10 years they give a percentage of the labor, human labor that is gonna not be needed because it's gonna be done by machines or all of the things. Like, but we had too many people. We need jobs the way it is. Imagine in a few years and the technology replaces humans. So that's a big question that you just asked me, because uh, this technology thing is developing, is moving forward.
So you think even if you didn't forget things, technology would advance and then your skills would become obsolete and you
But
wouldn't know
right,
how to operate the new stuff.
right, right. I mean, there are new homes that is the technology operated that, we don't have that much here. We don't have, but
Oh, like
you see,
Alexa and Google Home and all those
yes,
things.
all of those things that are so advanced. Uh, with the new appliances, that are there, we still use the simple things, with the buttons.
We're actually down to the last few questions I had pre-written. So would you say that you feel confident when you approach routine technical tasks, such as using Canvas, Microsoft Word, or other software related to your teaching jobs without aid? Like if
Yeah,
nobody's there to help you, you feel confident?
yeah. I feel very confident, Yeah. Uh, and I learn from you guys. See, you always have. This is the funny part. That when I was to the point in teaching that one of the things that humans are, it's just in us. Like you guys learning Spanish with me, you had um, overcome, you have conquered the fear of speaking, but that's just your personality for once. But in the language, you just say things. Jacob, the same thing. You just try, you know?
Hmm.
So now put on the other side as a teacher. Sometimes teachers were just afraid to, be vulnerable. When I overcome that part that I can make mistakes, involuntarily, things just can happen. And then it just happen. The students catch those mistakes and they mention to you, you just roll, and your brain, when I go there, I remember one time learning how to do some reading activity with second graders, and the lady was coaching me, she said, when you're doing this activity, you're going to pretend that you are like a firefighter. You put your helmet, you put your suit, you put everything, and you're going to the fire, fight the fire, and you work together, and you're going to rescue this kid. I thought that was a pretty good analogy. So the first year that I started teaching Spanish at the college level, it was a different environment, different kids. I was used to second grader. I know how to manipulate them. Even, sit down, be quiet. You can give the strong command, but with adults you can't. There's no, it's, you know. So how to keep everybody engaged and other things, I learned through the years. But nowadays, the way I see it is, that's what I always say at the very beginning. We're forming a team. I'm coaching you. You are my. We are players. Thinking we're gonna work together. We're gonna make mistakes. So when I don't know how to do that, like last semester was a fun, interesting, cute. I don't know, very nice when something was not happening and the computer was not coming, and then the second Adam was just next to me just to help me to see what was wrong with the computer. You always every semester you find somebody, or when the Elmo's not coming, I know how to manipulate the Elmo, but it's cute just to give Aaliyah the feeling also she's helping me. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. I like that. It's not that I don't know how to manipulate the thing. It's the technology sometimes it fails on you.
Hmm.
But I acknowledge her attitude, her good disposition. So once I overcame that fear of like, okay, I had to be perfect. I cannot make mistakes. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. When they perfect, oh, you mean to put that letter there? Oh, you miss that letter. Oh, you know, it's
Hmm.
an ongoing thing. We are teaming up. But in regard with what I need right now, I feel pretty confident in using. But I know I need more to make it even better. That's what I.
Hmm. And then, do you think you would feel that same confidence if I asked you to do something new technologically wise without help? like use a new social media to make a post or operate a new video or picture editing software or something like that?
Would I feel, what do you say? What was your question?
So if I asked you to use some new like website or editing software without help, do you think you would feel the same confidence that you could do that successfully as you do with the things you use every day?
No, because I will have to see it, just like I model for you guys in Spanish, or there's somebody teaching math, they model for the students. I would have to see how it's operated. But I feel the confident that I can learn it, definitely. I feel like it's a new thing, and then you say, Prof, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna teach you how to do this. I would be open to listen and, oh, okay, and then, but no, without any orientation, no. I would be,
Just because you don't
I
know what
think,
anything does or
yeah, like, I think anybody, don't
yeah.
you think?
So you said you would say that you feel not confidence that you could instantly operate any technical thing, but that you
Uh,
could learn from tutorials or
I think
tutors
so.
how to
Yeah,
use them and then use them
yeah,
successfully
yeah, I think
without
so.
help later.
Yeah, without help later, that's what the trainings are for, That's what I keep mentioning when I was working for Plano ISD. We were trained very well. We learned a lot of things there, but they were good. They would model for us. They would take us in classes, and I participated every summer in Plano. I was always participating in the courses. This is new. Okay, so I'm coming. Like when the big thing was Google Slides, Google Sheets, the Google presentations. Uh, I went for that. Now their schools are switching. They're going back to Microsoft. Yeah. I think we are capable of learning as a team together. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, they're doing a test of the emergency notification system.
Yes, yes. I just got the notification here myself. Yeah. I saw the email earlier that said they were going to do that.
Okay, yeah, and I have an intercom in here, so it was going off really loud.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just got the notification here.
Yeah, so that's why I had muted my microphone temporarily. Um, do you think that teachers having that technical ability, or even pretending not to have it so their students can help them, can sway or influence us young people's image of older adults and their ability to learn and use technology away from the real state of it?
Okay. Give me more into that one. I can
So
read what you're saying, but
so like if an average older person's technical ability is here, right? And then teachers, because they use technology all the time, that their technical ability is up here, and then young people only see their older teachers using technology, they would think that everybody in this category should be up here, or that if a teacher pretends not to have the ability, then they think nobody has it. Do you think that would like subconsciously influence your students' beliefs like that?
it's the way you're presenting it seems like it. Seems like the student, yeah, will be influenced for positive or negative. I don't know if we are
Depends on the teacher, how their
right,
technical ability
right,
is presented to the class,
yeah,
whether they would be above or below average.
right, right. I certainly, yeah, yeah.
It's a question that I wanted to ask because I know that you're a very active, energetic, technically able older adult, and even people 10, 20 years younger than you may not be as high achieving in those areas as you are. Um, and it's important for sociology studies really to be aware of these perceptions that people hold and what they actually are with when the mental images are stripped away and the truth is revealed, you know?
Good point. Good point. And you're making me think about something that a English teacher there at UT, we had a conversation the other day. This lady, I can't remember, her name is Miriam. They call her Mimi, but I can't remember her last name. Good, well, English teacher. She comes to UT Tyler every week from Fort Worth. That's what they are from. She rents here. That's the way I met her one time in the meeting. And she's very good to talk to. And she's very well known there at UT. And she had a presentation like a month ago and about AI. I thought, I don't hear what she says. So I signed up for the presentation she was going to do soon. And I liked her point of views, but it was mostly theory, about using the AI, the ChatGPT, how to be incorporated, but nothing practical yet. That's my question when I asked them. I think, but when the tech department is going to come and say, hey, here are something that you can do. Like the farthest we had gone with Goodell, that's one that we share, is letting you guys, like I do. I said, okay, ask ChatGPT at this paragraph right here. Then read it. Ask ChatGPT to write for me this paragraph. I think teachers, the university, they should be training teachers to do this kind of more things, helping us, because now the technology is useful, or overusing it and then not supervising it, and then it becomes an issue that we still want the students to think. We want we want the students to develop this common sense skill, and be able to. That's what I like to do the reading like yesterday that we all share. Unfortunately, there are some people who they don't take it. They take it for granted, but there's a good chunk of the number of students that they participate and they see when we are reading it together. And then I want the students to get that feeling. My goodness, I had this long reading. It's all in the second language, and I can understand. And I like it when we stop in phrases, and I can translate. I can go and Google if I cannot try, but I can explain it. But I want you guys to say it. And I know you say something, and Adia said something, Jacob said something. Yesterday, Colton was very active.
So
Because
what
the
you're
idea
saying, what you're saying is you don't want students to go, "Hey chat, do my homework for me." You want them to be like, "Hey chat, give me a tutoring guide or a study guide."
or something. And then, so here's the deal. Okay, they say not to use as this much. They were talking about guidelines. But how much? How can I? Like, I'm running by myself how to prompt the AI. And specifically in what? Like, I show you guys, write for me a little paragraph in past tense using pretérito and imperfecto, and then you give some details. Then you come with the paragraph, you read it, you understand it on your own, or you discuss it, and then start reading. So I'm getting to the goal that you can first of all understand what the AI has created for you. You can interpret it. There's some inferences in there. Now you can explain it. You can read it, you pronunciation. So we are accomplishing something in there. So that lady did a great presentation. Later, when there were several teachers in there, and I saw her and I said, "Thank you for the presentation. I watched your presentation; it was very good." And she's very sweet. She said, "Oh, thank you very much." Then we get into this conversation that I try to guide my class in something very, very simple. Because of the Spanish purpose, I want you guys to type the documents in the Microsoft, because of the word processor has the dictionary incorporated and you can use it. And it is surprised. She was surprised too when she said, like, the new generations are so advanced in technology and other things, but when it comes to basic things that they are more like needy, like you need to type something, because nowadays the technology is pretty much doing for you. There's a lot of people who can say to AI, type for me this email, and then you give some prompt. So people are not using those basic skills, like, where to go and type. So I'm glad that you mentioned that when you were telling me about the differences. That's what I'm saying. The technology, which should be that we can meet, it should be a point where I know this, you guys know more, and this other thing, but we need to have a meeting point where we both benefit from it. Do I make sense? And I went to a
So-
long explanation here.
Yeah, that makes sense. So just to restate it in a shorter way, you're saying that people who have technical ability should be helping people who have less technical ability so they can learn at least some of what they know.
Right. And the
That is,
basic things, you know, and they needed to meet the needs. Like when I said, there's still paper that they, when I received the essays, and I guess they're not listening to me. They don't type it in Microsoft Word because they're basic mistakes. And then
which
it comes to me like,
Microsoft Word would point out
yeah,
and help you
Microsoft,
correct.
it will point it out for you. Because you guys actually improve a lot by writing by hand, you know, the handwritten essay, because it's from here. When you're writing it, you're thinking, what are you doing? And then the one who pushed it, so it's the one to advance. You know, it's fun to see Adriana just to sit down and she's thinking, and then she comes with good compositions. You design. I see you. I watch you when you are there. That's what I see. This Spanish growth. Is you're using your brain. You're thinking. And I went through that part. You know, I can see it in you. I went through the same thing. I would write very short sentences, and then the more I started writing and writing, at one point, like, oh, I can write in English. And it's a beautiful feeling. So yeah, the technology is that way. I think it will be more. We need to use it with purpose.
Mhm. So, I mean, obviously, you can't really plot out a whole network of how people would support each other in learning that just because that's not what your expertise. But you would definitely support the existence of some kind of network or like new social media or whatever where people could reach out and get help with technical
Yeah.
things and learn skills from
Yes.
each other and all that stuff
So
for free.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I think that is all I had for you for this interview, and it is also the last interview in our short little series. So I want to thank you for meeting with me these 5 times for this interview series, and I'm very grateful that you allowed me to work with you on this.
Yeah, you are more than welcome. I enjoy working with you. You are a very, very good student, man. Just it's a very fulfilling working with you. Is I look forward every time that I go there and meet you and see Jacob and see Leah, Adriana, you know, Lance. I mean, it's just the group, Faith, Isa. I mean, they're just I like, but the energy that you bring to the group is very, very good. It's very good. It seems like you and I have some connection there in personalities.
All right. I'm going to end this recording.